Hello out there, and as always, I thank you for coming to my channel, Tell It Like It Is. I'm your host, Morris Man, and my co-host is
Joseph Spencer.
And today we're going to do a very interesting topic, and actually I've covered this topic about a year ago in another talk show, and I thought it was important to revise it and kind of get back into it. And the topic today is the Illuminati nonsense, and we stress nonsense. The Illuminati is a secret society, but guess what? There are hundreds of them. And all of a sudden, this particular one becomes so popular, and young black folks think that they're part of it that's in the rap industry, which is nonsense because the majority of the people, if not just about all of the people that are in the Illuminati, are older white people who have old money, who are extremely wealthy. They have no use to be dealing with rappers or trying to kill off rappers or entertainers. This is ridiculous. You know, but before I go off on my rant, because I'm going to rant today, I'm going to hand it over to Joe and get his opinion on what he thinks about these people that think that Tupac got killed by the Illuminati and all that other crazy stuff.
I think it's nonsense. I don't know how young black men get hooked up in believing that they could be part of a European gang.
Absolutely. You know,
I don't understand it. Is it an identity crisis, or is it something about people who gain monies?
Bad information. I mean, that's my perception of what's going on, that someone started this and it became a forest fire, so to speak.
Man, I had a lot of comments about this. It's just kind of scary to me that you want to go outside your race in a power base. Back in the day when Illuminati was in power, that they probably would lynch you and stick a stick up your butt.
Yeah.
You know, I don't understand it. Maybe I'm wrong and don't know that black people were part of the Illuminati.
Well, initially I kind of thought the same way about that you do about that, but I did some research and we're on the money about this. I mean, again, someone started this nonsense, and as usual, someone keeps carrying it on. And a good example of that is we touched on just about all the black people got great granddaddies is Cherokee, and we dismiss that nonsense. And it's always the same story, which lets you know that it's just that, a story. It's never Apache or Navajo, it's always Cherokee. And the same thing with this nonsense, it's always the Illuminati. It's not Skull and Bones, it ain't the North Star. That's just the name of a few of some of these other secret societies. It's always just quote unquote the Illuminati, which lets us know some nonsense. That someone started and these young black folks believe this BS and they running with this nonsense, you know?
I believe in empowering yourself, but empower yourself on the truth about your people, your bloodline. You cannot, even if you got 2% European blood in you from that part of the country where Illuminati started at, it's impossible for you to be part of the Illuminati culture. Your bloodline, I read a little bit, but it was about bloodline and power and money.
Exactly.
And secrecy.
Exactly.
How come you can't, black people don't associate with being a Watusi or Ubangi?
Well, that might be in the future. I mean, if the people that keep carrying on and sending this nonsense out to the young black folks, it'll continue. Because I'm going to touch on a few of these, and then I'm going to get back and let you get back to you on it. I'm gonna go down the list I'm gonna do a partial list and come back and forth, but I'm gonna dismiss some nonsense. First nonsense, the Tupac nonsense about that he was marked for death after Quincy Jones made a proposition to him. Now, I will go as far as to say that that's a possibility that could be true. You know, who knows? But as far as Tupac being killed by a secret society, that's BS. Tupac was killed by gang members when he decided to jump Baby Lane Anderson in the lobby of the Las Vegas casino. That's what gangbangers do. They retaliate when you hurt one of theirs. They hurt one of you. And that's basically what happened to Tupac. It's nothing complex about that. Suge Knight had nothing to do with it because no one is going to hire a person to assassinate another person while they standing next to that person. If Tupac was assassinated by a paid hit by Suge Knight, he would have got hit from the front to make sure they got a clear shot of him. They would have not drove up on the side and shot bullets into the car and hoping that the bullets got eyes and not gonna hit Suge Knight, the guy that supposedly hired him. Right. It's nonsense. So let's please stop the ridiculous nonsense about Tupac was killed by the Illuminati or some other BS, or the government killed him. Yeah, plain and simple, Tupac was murdered by gangbangers because even Tupac said in an interview he talks too much, and that was one of his biggest faults. And unfortunately, that's what happened to him. Now I'm going to touch on one more and then turn it back over to Joe. Uh, According to people, they believe that Kanye West blood sacrificed his mom, which is another ridiculous story because Kanye West's mom died from complications from breast enhancement surgery. After surgery, infection set in and she passed away from that. That's it. Nobody plotted to kill her. No one hired doctors to kill her. She didn't die in a bathtub or in a car under suspicious circumstances. It's been documented how this lady passed away. Turn it over to you, Joe.
I have very little to say on this. Bless the lady's heart. People can't follow in other people's footsteps. I don't know why you want to put a foreign matter into your flesh. I don't understand it, never will. And the hype of these people being killed and sacrificed, I don't know where this story came from. I'm not around these people. I don't even know why the common public would involve themselves spiritually or intellectually with this stuff. That these people, they don't sit behind each other's dinner tables, don't knock on each other's doors. They're entertainers. They're like a chair or a lamp. You don't know them. You don't have a personal contact with them. Why worried about this?
Well, I think, unfortunately, you have some people, and I'm going to name one person, and I respect him, Professor Griff. But Professor Griff is what's the word I want to use? He is what is the word I want to use? Radical.
Okay.
He's a radical. I believe that some of the stuff that he talks about is not true. And you have to be very sure that when you're talking to the public that the information that you're sharing is accurate, very close to being true. I mean, very accurate. And I think sometimes Professor Griff gets a little reckless in some of the things that he say because, I think he wants to sell books. I do believe that he has a passion about trying to protect black people and be aware of what's happening. But at the same thing, ladies and gentlemen, you have to remember this. The entertainment industry is just that. Professor Griff make these statements about allegations that Beyonce is a part of the Illuminati because of the GOAT, I forgot the term they call it. She has it in her video, and I wouldn't dispute that. But guess what? She has it in her video to sell CDs. Got nothing to do with her being a part of a secret society. She sees that this is controversial, and only in the music industry or the entertainment industry that controversy is good. Now, a regular guy working a regular job, controversy ain't good for him.
No.
But for an entertainer, like they say, as long as you get my name spelled right in whatever you write about me, I'm good with you, And that's what we have to remember. These people are just trying to sell records and books. I don't think that they are part of anything other than a part of the music industry and trying to sell records and books. Well, CDs and books.
I don't understand it either. The average black American who work to become famous, you got to be famous to make money. How do they become up here and the rest of the people down here and the people down here follow them? I know there are followers in this world. You have to. Everybody can't be a leader.
Yeah.
But our people have to learn to follow the right people. Not on some nonsense. It's not going to better them spiritually, financially, and physically.
I totally agree with you.
And mentally.
Yeah, I totally agree. Because, I hear some of these things, and then I did some research in my staff. And here's another one. The reason why these guys walk around with their pants hanging and their crack showing is it's part of a homosexual ritual that started in jail. Now, I'm not disputing that started in jail, and it might be for that. But for 99.9% of the guys that are out there wearing these pants sagging, it got nothing to do with the Illuminati. It got to do with I'm stupid and I'm following trend. That's what they got to do. It got nothing to do with the significance, or they know the significance of why they pants sagging. So please, young men, black men and women, wake up. Get your information from a reliable source other than gas that is sprouting out of their mouth that want to sell books and records. Because that's all they're trying to do is sell their product to you and tell you a story that ain't true. It's not true.
When I was young, I used to wear hip huggers. And when I became a young man, I stopped wearing hip huggers. When you see a brother that's 40, 45 years old with his belt buckle around his knees. I don't even know what to say about that, man. I really don't. It befuddles me. I used to travel a lot. I was in New York and different places when hip hop and gangster rap started. Hip hop and gangster rap's got to be 30, 35 years old now.
Started in the late 70s.
And yeah, I know. And I came in my life really started in the bohemian beatnik era. When you're young, you look for stuff to identify with.
Yeah, and you
know.
follow the current of the trends.
Follow color.
And it's up to your, sometimes people at home, your older family members, your parents, to say, hey, let me sit you down and just kind of school you, because the stuff that you kind of running with is just nonsense and it's not true. You know, here's another one as far as, according to Professor Griff, that Aaliyah was sacrificed by Damian Dane, I believe, that was engaged to her. Aaliyah died in a plane crash along with the pilot and other members of that plane. And the reason why they perished because there was too much cargo on the plane. It had nothing to do with somebody was plotting to kill her, because like 4 or 5 other people died in the plane with her. So, you know, again, we got some people out there that's just reckless and giving information that is just correct, just totally false.
Why would you kill off a moneymaker? A moneymaker that just started making money.
Well, according to Griff and some other ridiculous people, the reason why is because the secret society they supposed to be a part of asked them to do a sacrifice. Just like with gang members, you know, the initiation for some is go out there and shoot somebody to prove yourself. And it's the same thing, I guess, with the Illuminati, that you're supposed to sacrifice somebody that's close to you, you know, for the sake of showing your loyalty to the group.
Well, there must be a different kind of a strange kind of sacrifice, because most of the sacrifices I learned about, it was bloodletting. You had to let your sacrifice bleed to death on the altar, not blow up in a plane.
Yeah, I know, and that's why it's ridiculous. And again, I believe the reason why some of these young people follow is because they don't have anybody, older people in the house or family, father or mom, that sit them down and say, hey, I know you believe in this, but I'm telling you this is not true. You know, because, I mean, I talk to young guys all the time, and because they sometimes knows me from the talk show, and they come up to me and talk to me, and they start talking that Illuminati nonsense, and I have to sit them down and say, look, that's just what it is. It's some nonsense. They're trying to sell records or CDs and books. There is a society that's secret that is called that, but they do not deal with black rappers. You know,
no.
They just don't, because they don't have to. You know, it's ridiculous.
No, I forget. Is Illuminati Italian, or they're from Eastern Europe?
I think it's Eastern Europe. Mm. But again, that tends to be the hot thing with these young people, that, you know, you go on YouTube and just see a whole list of videos about how the Illuminati is going to get Cat Williams, and, you know, Illuminati killed Michael Jackson, and one clown even said that Illuminati killed Kennedy. It's nonsense. And we need to wake up and get real information from reliable sources, other than a handful of people that's trying to make money by writing books on some stuff that's not true. Again, there is a secret society that goes by that name, but they do not deal with rappers or people in the entertainment business. They don't have to.
They don't deal with people from West Africa or South Africa.
Exactly.
They do not deal with powerless people.
They don't deal with powerless people.
Just because you have cars and planes and $20, $30 million in the bank don't mean you have power. Yeah. That means you just can buy stuff.
Yeah, and the people that are part of that are like billionaires. They have a lot of money. A millionaire to them is like an average guy to, you know, rich people.
Right.
You know, they don't have to deal with those people. Why would they have to?
Why?
A lot of these young men out here now don't have a father in the house, and their mother is basically still being taken care of by grandmother in some cases. So that's why I think this stuff is spreading, and people taking it as the gospel truth that this is actually true, and it's just absolutely nonsense. Mm-hmm. And that's why we decided to do this show today, to educate these young folks, to tell them that this is not true. Tupac was not killed by an organization. Tupac was killed by gang members because he kept talking too much. And he beat up Baby Lang in the MGM Theater, and that's what started that nonsense. And all these other people, it's been documented how they died. It had nothing to do with anybody plotting to kill them. So please, stop passing on this nonsense that there's a secret society within the rap group that's killing off people, and they trying to, you know, silence people because it's not true. Well, on that note, I'm going to wrap this up. And as always, I thank you for coming to my show, Tell It Like It Is. Again, I'm Morris Man, and my co-host is
Joseph Spencer.
And until next time, keep thinking.